wish you had a skincare therapist bestie with over a decade of experience whisper skincare tips, ingredients, and solutions in your ear? Welcome to the Skin Coach in Georgia podcast. I am your host, Mayade Samini, a clinical esthetician and founder of Urban Skincare Clinic. Whether you're challenged with acne, rosacea, dark spots, or just want to learn how to maintain a healthy glow, this podcast is for you. Let's transform your skin one episode at a time. Welcome to another episode of the Skin Coach in Georgia podcast. This episode is brought to you by Urban Skincare Clinic. Today, we're talking all things sun protection. At the time of this recording, spring is a couple of weeks away, and I am so excited for warmer, sunnier days. Let's dive into this episode. What is the difference between physical versus chemical sunscreen? Well, you already know the role sunscreen plays in your daily skincare routine. Sunscreen helps protect you from overexposure to the sun's damaging rays, which can contribute to fine lines and wrinkles, signs of premature aging, dark spots, and skin cancer. But first thing first, are you slathering up with a physical or a chemical sunscreen? Does it even matter which one you use? Well, it might. The key difference between these types of sunscreens, chemical versus physical, lies in how they block rays. Physical, or also known as mineral sunscreens, sit on the surface of your skin and act as a shield, while chemical sunscreens sink into your skin and act more like a sponge. There are pros and cons to both, but sunscreen itself is non-negotiable, of course. But let's go over the differences so you can choose the best option for your sun protection needs. We're going to start with physical sunscreen. Physical sunscreens are commonly known as mineral sunscreens. So it's essentially the same thing. These two words just are used interchangeably. They work by creating a physical barrier on the skin that shields it from the sun's rays. These sunscreens deliver broad spectrum protection by reflecting UV radiation away from your skin. They also help block UVA rays that come through windows, which can cause pigmentation, breakdown of collagen, and wrinkles. That's why it's so important to wear your sunscreen every day, even if you don't go outside. Titanium dioxide and zinc oxide are both physical sunscreens and are often recommended for people with skin sensitivities, including acne and rosacea, and are gentle enough to use on children. But mineral sunscreens do have one downside. They can be chalky, difficult to spread, and they tend to leave behind a noticeable white cast on the skin. If you have a darker skin complexion, this whitish cast can be easily apparent, but really you can massage it in and maybe a minute or two. Once you massage it in, it gets absorbed. Now let's talk about chemical sunscreen. Chemical sunscreens absorb the UV rays before your skin can soak them up. And oxybenzone and avobenzone are the two most popular chemical sunscreen ingredients used in sun protection products. And in most cases, chemical sunscreens don't really leave a visible film layer on the skin, which makes them easier to wear on a broader range of skin tones. Because they're designed for absorption, chemical sunscreens tend to go on smoothly without feeling sticky or tacky or greasy, and they don't leave the telltale white cast like physical sunscreen does. Now, a potential drawback of chemical sunscreens is people with sensitive skin may experience an unwanted reaction to a chemical sunscreen, like redness or inflammation. Some ingredients could exacerbate skin conditions like rosacea, and skin sensitivity. Therefore, if you have sensitive skin, you will likely do better with a physical sunscreen since it poses a lower risk of irritation. If eco-friendliness is a requirement for your sunscreens, your best bet is a mineral sunscreen. But if you prefer a chemical sunscreen, check the label and steer clear of any formulas with oxybenzone, octocrylene, and octinazate. Can you be allergic to sunscreen? It's possible that some ingredients may cause an allergic reaction. This can cause an allergic rash, among other symptoms. If you're experiencing rashes from sunscreen, it's important to identify the underlying causes rather than stopping using sunscreen altogether. You'll need to instead use another kind with other ingredients that don't result in allergic reaction. I do see this oftentimes. Client will say, well, sunscreen breaks me out. Well, it's not all sunscreens. So you just have to find a formula that agrees with your skin. What are some of the symptoms of an allergic reaction to sunscreen? Symptoms of a sunscreen allergy look similar to that of a sun allergy, also called sun poisoning, as well as a heat rash or sunburn. So some of these symptoms include hives, raised bumps, swelling, blisters, scaling, pain. Now, how long will it take for your skin to show these symptoms or any symptom after using sunscreen? The amount of time it takes for an allergic reaction to develop depends on the person. It can happen within minutes, or it may take as long as 2 days for any signs to show. Sometimes you may not get a reaction until the sunscreen on your skin is exposed to sunlight. This type of reaction is called photoallergic contact dermatitis. You may be at an increased risk for sunscreen allergy if you have contact dermatitis with other products. People with sensitive skin are also more prone to chemical sensitivities in skincare products. You should also use caution when using a new sunscreen if sunscreen allergies run in your family. And a good way you can test a new product is to do a patch test. Squeeze out a small amount of sunscreen into your hand and rub onto a small area on your skin, maybe inside of your elbow. Wait and see if any reactions occur. You may need to expose the area to sunlight in order to see if you have a reaction. If nothing happens over 2 days, then you can apply the sunscreen to the rest of your body. What can you do to treat a sunscreen allergy? A sunscreen allergy is treated similarly to other allergic skin reactions. In milder cases, the rash will subside on its own, but in moderate or severe cases, they may require topical or oral steroids to reduce inflammation and the reaction. Oral antihistamines can also help with itching and allergic response. If you are experiencing a sunscreen allergy, it's important to stay out of the sun until your skin has completely healed. It can take up to several days for full recovery, depending on the severity. There are so many different types of ingredients, formulations, and levels of possible protection out on the market. How do you know what all these terminologies mean? I am going to cover some of these terminologies that are commonly used on sunscreen products. Broad spectrum. This is one of the most important terms to look for when reading a sunscreen label. Broad spectrum means that it protects you from both UVA, aging rays, and UVB, burning rays, which are both important not only for skin cancer prevention, but also to reduce accelerated aging. SPF. These 3 crucially important letters stand for sun protection factor. SPF can range from anywhere from 15 to more than 50. How do you know what number is the best to go with? Current recommendations from the American Academy of Dermatology is to use a sunscreen with at least 30 protection. I personally recommend SPF 30 for every day and maybe for the winter months, but switching to SPF 50 for spring and summer. Waterproof sunscreen. There is no such thing as a waterproof sunscreen because sweat and water remove the sunscreen from your skin. So the FDA no longer allows this term on product packaging. What is very water resistant 80? This term indicates that a sunscreen will remain effective for up to 80 minutes of exposure to water. And what is photo aging? Well, unfortunately, this isn't an app on your phone that shows you how you look when you get older. The definition is much less fun. Photo aging is premature aging of the skin because of exposure to ultraviolet rays. This leads to the development of fine lines, wrinkles, crepey skin, brown spots, and broken capillaries. Basically, looking older than you really are from spending too much time in the sun. All right, moving on. More Americans are diagnosed with skin cancer than all other types of cancer combined. Sun protection, in short, is an everyday essential. So, if slathering sunscreen on your face and neck and chest and the back of your hands on a daily basis is not part of your routine, well, it should be. In short, the only time you don't need SPF is if you need a flashlight to go outside. Some lifestyle habits to adopt are being mindful of your clothing, maybe wearing long sleeved tops and pants when possible, and wearing a wide brimmed hat to shield your face and neck, avoiding UV lights, including tanning beds, and oh, yeah, ladies, if you enjoy getting gel manicures, you know how at the end you're sticking your hands under the UV ray dryer thingy? Well, that's aging your skin. Make sure you have SPF on the back of your hands. And last but certainly not least, timing. Peak sunshine hours are between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Aim to spend time outdoors before or after this period whenever possible. And make a point to stay in the shade when you are outside. Sunscreen is the best way to reduce your chances of sun related skin damage. And when it comes to sunscreen, you have options. And the best one is really one that you would use every day. And finally, by making sunscreen use part of your daily routine, that's taking care of your skin, your body. I'd love to read a quote from Palmer Parker. It says, "Self care is never a selfish act. It is simply good stewardship of the only gift I have. The gift I was put on earth to offer others. Anytime we can listen to true self and give the care it requires, we do it not only for ourselves, but for the many others whose lives we touch." Palmer Parker. All right, ladies, that's a wrap. I would love to hear your feedback and your biggest takeaway. Did you learn anything new from this episode? You can private message me on Facebook or Instagram at Urban Skincare Clinic. And until next episode, take good care of yourself. I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Bye for now.